Various organizations, including COSATU, SAFTU, and the SACP, TAC, and Equal Education, are picketing outside the gates of Parliament ahead of today's budget speech. The organizations are vehemently opposed to a VAT increase, among other things. We cross live to that.
Here today, or could hear us today, to say, we're not your fools. We want you to say no into that fucking Parliament. You must raise your voice in the Parliament to say no. You don't come here and say, we're so shocked and surprised. You were part of this. You were part of our poverty today, and you're still shocked about the conditions that women and children and farm workers are living as. And now you come to us and say, we're shocked. We are shocked that you are shocked today of the conditions that we're living in. We say no more. We say to you, we will come back to the same spot. And I want us to hear me today, to hear us, is also to say, go back to your communities and organize the youth of this country. Because if we organize without the youth, we will come back every time to this Parliament in March. If we don't organize the women in this country, then we will every time coming back. So we have a job to do. From today, we all go out and do what we are supposed to do. And we have to organize our organizations. We have to build the social movements because we're weak. We're not strong. So we have to go back and rebuild and make sure that we come back as a strong South Africa, that working together and make sure that the government hear us and they see us and they feel us. Amandla!
Thank you, Comrade Jinia. Nzaso. Comrades, now we are going to call upon the Speaker who's going to share a new vision, or who's going to speak on the view on a new vision for our country. Given the fact that the challenges that we are faced with, we are calling upon Comrade Alan Busak.
Amandla! Amandla! Thank you. My brothers and sisters, thank you for staying here all morning, because it is such an important occasion for us all. We have been stumbling along in this country from crisis to crisis for too long now. And today the crisis is called by what they call their budget. And it's a budget that is a crisis because it's a budget that caters for the rich and the powerful
and a budget that wants to punish the poor and the powerless in this country. And our gathering here together today is we are sick of this crisis. And we are sick of this budget, but the budget is a crisis because it is the spawn, the child of a new liberal capitalist system that is designed to give to the rich and the powerful and to deprive our people, the masses, of what, not only what we need, but what we deserve. We are clear this budget cannot even begin to cover what we need, never mind what we deserve. We need decent, good jobs, but we deserve a living wage that will lift up the dignity of our people. We need housing, but we need decent housing where our children can grow up, where our parents can be at peace, in an environment where all of us can live as if we belong here, not as if we are tucked in here from some other place. We do not only need education in general, we deserve the kind of education that will give every child every opportunity that is reserved for every other child in this country. As long as we do not have that, we will have a crisis. We have a crisis because this budget is the budget of this thing they call the government of national unity. Now with that is a crisis because this government of national unity, this concoction between the ANC and the DA with some other parties hanging like Christmas lights all around, because they are not legitimate. They do not have the trust of the people. They do not have the faith of the people. They do not have the support of the people. They were not put there by the people. They were, so Ms. Helen Zille openly said, they were put there by the rich and powerful of this country, not to serve your needs or your children's needs, but to serve their needs. That is a crisis. And so we will address that crisis, and we will act upon that crisis. The one thing that when they formed this government of national unity, they looked around and they talked with Rupert, and they talked with this one, and they talked with Oppenheimer, and they talked with the others. They never spoke to our people. From today on, we will say to them, whatever it is that you decide, unless you speak to your people, we will stand up, we will protest, we will block you at every turn, and we will never give you our trust. I don't know who they represent in that parliament over there. They don't represent me, and they don't represent you. They don't even represent the future because they have no vision for a future. They are illegitimate because they think only about themselves. They think only about their own interest. They think only about what makes them rich. That is perhaps one of the reasons why we do not even know why our soldiers are dying in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's not to defend our people. It's not to look after the interests of our people. But it is very well to look after the interests of a few capitalists who've got mining interests up there. And so your children will go up there, sent out there, not their children, your children, to defend the rights and to defend the interests and to defend the monies of a few capitalist companies. And that ends today. We have to be clear about that. We are not carrying the crises that they are creating on our backs, and we're not leaving it to be set on the backs of our children who follow after us. And so we have a clear, different vision for our country. I hear that they are putting together what they call a national dialogue. to do what? They want to dialogue about the wrongs that they have done over 30 years. Do they want to dialogue about the plans that they had 30 years ago that turned out to be a failure 30 years later? Do you want a dialogue driven by the same people who caused the problems we are facing today to talk about how we solve those problems they have caused in the next 30 years? You can go to that dialogue if you want to, I won't. They need to understand that our problems are not going to be solved by a dialogue held among those who have kept power to themselves and who have done with that power nothing to help our people. Why is it that 30 years before 1994 we had to come together like this? 30 years after 1994 we're still coming together like this. There's something wrong in that. They will not understand it unless we make them understand it. It is not just about the budget. It's about the devastation this budget causes us at every level. It's not just about the budget. It's about the devastation in our educational systems. It's not just about the budget. It's about a system that causes us here in the Western Cape to let go of 3,000 teachers. And they're not fired from white schools. They're not fired from Model C schools. They're not fired from private schools. They're all fired from our schools so that our children has to forego this opportunity to be properly educated. That we will not take any longer. So it's not just about the budget. It's about the joblessness that this capitalist system caused deliberately. It cannot live without it. It's not just about the budget. It's about the hunger in families when nobody can find a job. Not the mother, not the father, not the children. And even if you have matric, you will not find that job. Even if you have a degree from a university, you will not find that job because of the system. It's not just about the budget. It's about the devastation it causes. It's not just about the budget. It's about the indignity of our people that we have to suffer day by day by day, and there is no end to it. It's not just about the budget. It's about the devastation of the hopelessness of our young people who are so angry and so disappointed and so disillusioned that some of them have said to me, I think the only solution is to set fire to this place. And I say to those young people, you don't need a fire, you need a revolution. And a revolution does not begin by hating white people. A revolution begins by clearing up your mind and knowing who you are and where you come from and what your struggle has been and what your dreams are and what your aspirations are and where you are going. And it's about not knowing where you go. No, it's about knowing this is my country. This is my land. You have stolen my land. I am taking it back. That's what a revolution is all about. So don't tell me about AfriForum. AfriForum can go to Trump 10,000 times. I don't care. Trump doesn't know where Lesotho is. Trump doesn't know that Spain is not in BRICS. Trump doesn't know where South Africa is. We know. AfriForum says, oh, we will emigrate to America. I don't know about you. Because if they leave, then we can just simply go and occupy those homes which is ours. But they should know the one irreversible thing that's now on the agenda is that we will fight for our land. That's part of the crisis, that we do not own the land of our birth. And they must understand this. And we must all understand this. This thing that they are saying, we are stealing their land, we are stealing the land. The owners of the land cannot steal the land that belongs to them. This thing that they are saying, we are stealing the land on the basis of this law that Mr. Ramaphosa signed 1976, 1977, 1978, whatever it was, law of...
On the stage there is Dr. Alan Busak. He is a theologian and political activist, emphasizing there that this budget has to address the needs of the people, asking who the politicians asked and consulted with when they were drafting the budget, and to what extent the views of the people was taken into account. He also used this opportunity to take a jab at the US president and that comment that was made last week, saying that he didn't know where Lesotho was.